Welcome to the Pre-Pod. I'm here with Debbie Frasca, energy healer. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm so well this morning and very excited to have you share about yourself and what you do.
Yes, it's been a crazy journey, let me tell you. So I do energy work. I work with the creator and the angels. And what I've come to, so I actually discovered this later in life for myself. And so I'm actually 54 now. So at 50, um, I had to go through my journey in this lifetime and deal with different issues. And so I have the compassion to deal with every issue that comes up with people I work with, really. But like my whole life, I've been interested in mediums and psychics and all this stuff. And I just always had that feeling that there was something more for me. I never was like good at anything growing up. I just was like always searching for that thing. And then so this is my message is never too late. Never too late to reinvent yourself. But anyway, so I was always drawn to this type of work, like the mediums. I kept going, I need to know more. I love that. I love that. I gotta know more. So I don't know if you believe in past lives, but past lives are real. And so I was a healer in many, many past lives. So as we're doing this work with other people, that's what I came to learn about myself. So that's why it's coming so naturally to me, because this is why I'm here to do this work. So basically, I ended up connecting with a group online, actually, an angel healing group, and I'm like, I got to do this. I need to know more about this. Like when something resonates with you, when you're drawn to it, it's like that's when you know it, you're on the right track. So actually I connected with them and I started working on myself, clearing all my childhood traumas and all my stuff throughout this life. And so I was a clear channel. So I'm a clear channel now to help others. So, as I was going through that journey, I didn't really know I was a healer. I'm like, I started doing my work and I'm like, did you feel anything? They're like, oh my God, yes, I did this. I feel so good. And I'm like, what? Really? Are you kidding me? So it just blossomed very quickly for me, because the group that I was in, actually, there were Reiki healers for 20 years. There were all sorts of mediums and people that have been doing this for a long, long time. And I'm here just because I thought it was cool. Like, I just want to check this out. And I ended up like really doing great, and turn this into a business that I'm helping so many people. I actually do Zoom calls with people all over the world, not even in person, just literally Zoom calls, because we're all connected. And so yeah, it's energy work. It's all about trapped emotions in our physical body. So, God made the perfect human, but we're messing that all up with our food, our environment, our emotions, and all this energy gets stuck in our bodies and causes dis-ease in our physical bodies. And then the body can't function properly. So like anger moves into the liver, or, these different emotions move into the body. And then I'm actually able to release them energetically. I have this crazy connection with God and the angels, and whatever I ask them to do, they just do for me. So it's been a beautiful, amazing journey, and I am so blessed every day to do this work. Does
Oh,
that?
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's beautiful that you share it's never too late, because a lot of people think it is.
No,
Um,
never.
so that's awesome what I love too is that you were talking about how you're looking for that thing and you found that thing. And a lot of people I know uh, that range in all ages are always worried. They're like, I don't have a purpose, I don't have a passion. But sometimes you learn it later or you learn it sooner. There's never like a specific timeline. I think we try to put time on everything, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to follow your heart, not your head. What makes you light you up, if something, whether it's photography, whether it's cooking, whatever you get excited about, that's your thing. And this was just like, I remember years ago, there was a show on TV out here called The Healer. it was like 10, 15 years ago. I'm like, I'm going to do that one day. I didn't know back then. And I like, remember, I can hear myself saying that. And then, cause like I said, in many, many past lives, I did this work. So that's why it's coming so naturally to me. And never compare yourself to others. That's what, as humans, we want to, well, this one's doing that. And this, what about, I want to be good at something, or I want, you compare yourself to them, but it's your own journey and it's all in divine timing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm very excited to have your expertise in this because, as you know, I personally have endometriosis. I'm at this moment with infertility because I don't believe it's forever. I'm going to take that in out. I know it. And I heard from my cousin about you and about womb healing. And I thought it would be amazing for you to share. What is womb healing?
Okay. So I am very much about, if there's a problem, I want to fix it. So I started doing all this energy work. Like I said, I've learned different modalities, but I take a little from each one and make it my own. So what I'm doing, like nobody's really doing what I'm doing because I've kind of created my own modalities. So I was doing all the other energy work and I was thinking like period cramps, like our body, when our body's in pain, it's trying to tell us something like that there's something wrong. And then we take a pill, right? We take an Advil or whatever to make the pain go away, but it doesn't fix the root cause of the problem. So I'm like, these girls are suffering from this period pain every month on the bed, crying in pain. So some of the work I do, I use my pendulum to communicate. So I can ask every organ in the body if it's happy or not. Like I ask, are the lungs happy? Yes, I get a yes. That's fine. If I get a no, then I investigate further. If it's a trapped emotion, grief and heartache live in the lungs. So I just release grief and heartache and I ask the person to take a deep breath. They're like, oh my God, I can breathe now. Like that's how instant this works. So I got thinking about the girls with the period cramps. So I created this session. I'm like, so I asked if the uterus was happy. No. And I'm like, so I just started releasing all these trapped emotions. And for the uterus, it's so many emotions and it's not all sexually related. Like from when you're a child, feelings, a lot of girls have daddy issues, like if the dad's not around, feelings of abandonment, love unreceived lands there, humiliation, low self-esteem, rejection, resentment, all those type of emotions end up landing in the uterus. So most girls with severe pain end up having like 50, 60, 70 of those low vibe energy emotions stuck in their uterus. And that's what the pain is creating, the pain and entities. So when we go to that low place of worry, fear, stress, anxiety, we attract entities to our bodies. Like you feel like you're in the muck, depression, all of that. But I've literally released entities from the uterus because all those low, dark emotions attract that dark energy. And it's like, so like people feel it leave. When I release these emotions, girls feel cramping and so, I mean, there's no question it's happening. They're like, oh my God, that was crazy. So like, definitely physical things like that happen. So yeah, I basically tap into, so that's how it started with the girls. So the one girl, I created the session, releasing trapped emotions from the uterus, from the ovaries, from the right ovary to the left ovary, because they hold emotions too. And so I did it on one girl. The bad thing about this session is I have to wait like a month for my results because I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta wait till you get your period next so I can find out if you have pain or not. So anyway, this one girl, when I started this, I did it. So she calls me. She was like, oh my God, I just got my period. I didn't even know I was getting it. Zero pain. Like normally she was on bed crying, every single month. So she got her period, no pain, like no pain. So I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy. So then I actually reached out to like 10 girls to do like a trial run on this. So another woman, she was going to get a hysterectomy. And I'm like, no. I hate when people rip out organs because they're there for a reason, right? So she was in so much pain that she was going to get a hysterectomy. So I ended up doing this session on her. Pain gone, canceled the hysterectomy, so I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So then I'm like, why not tried on infertility, you know. So I actually, my daughter's friend, she was trying for a year and a half to get pregnant. I did the womb healing for her. When I did it, she felt the cramping and the whole thing. The next month she got pregnant. So I'm like, oh my God, this is, you know, like, this is so then, so that my daughter's other friend, same thing. She tried for a year, did the womb healing, pregnant the next month, like literally the next month, pregnant. I'm like, this is, so actually that one baby was born in July, because I've only been doing it for about a year. I created that, and the next one's due. There was another one born. The next one's born is due this week. So it's so cool that these babies are around me that have been created by this session. So it's just like so amazing and so grateful. I got to hold the first baby. It's actually my daughter's. She's the godmother of the baby. So that was
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool to be the first baby of this session. Is somebody connected to me. So that was awesome. So yeah, the results are just amazing. I mean, I can't guarantee it, obviously, but I've had many, you know, I have about 8 girls pregnant that tried. I think there were only 2 that, and I know the one girl that she has a business and she's very stressed out. So, you know, that comes into play too. But just, you know, if you believe, so I don't know whether you believe this or not, the souls choose their mother. So there's a soul up there waiting to come into this womb space. So like, I feel like if it's a toxic environment, the soul's like, yeah, I can go in there, like clean that stuff up before I come down. So literally, like, you're cleaning the womb, the room for the baby. And so once these low vibration energies are gone, and these entities, possibly entities in that space, and it's all nice, I send in pink goddess energy as healing energy to the womb space. So it's all cleaned up and ready to receive the soul. So it's, just got chills from like head to toe.
Yeah, that's wow. Like, just beautiful all around. Had little tears coming here. Like, oh,
I know, it's just so, I'm just so grateful. I love what I do. Can't have, I mean, I just love it. It's instant. You know, I see people's lives change in an instant. You know, I mean, these girls, so many girls are spending thousands and tens of thousands of dollars on IVF and all that, and it's not working because the womb space needs to be cleaned up a little bit from, like I said, childhood stuff, whatever issues. And like I said, it doesn't have to be sexually related or anything. To, you know, it can be too. Also, if there's a bad experience or any abuse as a young child, clean that stuff up. Yeah, but all I can say is I've had success with it. You know, like I said, period pain gone, hysterectomy canceled, babies being born left and right. So it's worth a try, and it's amazing.
thank you for sharing that. I think that it it sounds like I've always felt that and I think there's a lot of articles on it too, so I know I'm not alone in this, but I've always felt like trauma and your body are, you know, they fight each other. I feel like the trauma, because I've noticed anybody that has some form of an illness, like, or has um like endo or Crohn's or you know, like the list goes on, cancer, so on and so forth. Somewhere in their lives, trauma has occurred. I've at least what I've noticed with most people, and so I feel like somehow that must not go so well with the body, and the body's like, what do I do with all of this?
Well, it is. It's energy. So about everything's energy. So, you know, traumas are stuck, like there's balls of energy in our body that are causing dis-ease for our body not to function perfectly. Because like we said, God made the perfect human. You know, our bodies are amazing. And I always say to people, like, we can grow a human being inside our bodies. Why do you think it can't heal itself? It can. But unfortunately, big pharma, and you know, they can't sell their medications if healing, you know, if we can heal ourselves. So it was hidden from us for many years. You know, they didn't want us to know that we can heal ourselves. And you know, Mother Earth gave us everything we need, plant medicine, and just, you know, vitamins and sunshine, and all that stuff is real. And we don't, medication, there's so many side effects to medications. So it is, the root cause is trauma. And the first, it's interesting, I do my clean slate deep healing session. I release trauma from birth till now. And our first traumatic memory is of being born. So, and it was funny because when I did that, I worked on one person, everyone had that. And the one person I worked on, I'm like, this is so strange. Everybody has this. And I'm like, oh my God, she was a twin. She wasn't scared. She wasn't alone. So she didn't have trauma as being born, from being born. So, so we're born with a trauma. So yeah, we're all experiencing this life as a human, trying to navigate through this. And as a child, it's all about love. If we don't, as a baby, if you're not receiving that love from your mother, the bond, things start going bad. And then siblings, and just, it's all about love. And then as you get older, you try to find boyfriends. So I mean, we're always looking for love, and if we don't have it, then things start, then people, whether they turn to alcohol or they turn to different things just to try to get what they're missing. And all traumas and traumas, when I say traumas, if you're a 5-year-old kid going to kindergarten without their mom, they're like, what did you just drop me off all these strangers? I don't know. Why am I here? The souls don't understand. So that could be a trauma to a 5-year-old, but that's just part of these trapped emotions and this trauma that are with this issue of the womb and the uterus. Because, the uterus and the sacral chakra is all about relationships and, sexuality and, creativity. All that is in the sacral chakra and the womb space. So, and it's a lifetime of experiences, bullies at school, even interacting with girlfriends, mean girls at school and all that, feeling rejected and resentment and abandonment, all those jealousy, all those emotions end up landing in the uterus. And that is the period pain that we experience, is all that, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does. And that's interesting about the trauma at birth. Hopefully I was lucky because I also am a twin. So I wasn't alone either.
So that's interesting. Yeah, because some people, they either have one, or if it was a difficult birth, maybe there was some stress, they could have 10 or more, just from being born that I release. But I can release those energetically, like literally instantly, and they're gone. So
That's amazing. Thank you
it
for
is amazing. It is. It is. And it's something, you just have to be open to it. If you're like curious about it, as long as you're not like, that's stupid, like that's not going to work, that's crazy, because you'll literally block it and then be like, told you that it wasn't going to work type thing. So I don't want to work with anybody that doesn't believe in it, because they will block it and then it won't work. But everyone, even if people have come to me kind of on the fence and we're like, I'm just curious, I'm here, let's see what happens. And they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. So, as long as they show up and they're open to see what happens. But it's definitely something you need to experience for yourself. Even people I work with, they're like, I saw a post about it. I was kind of like, what's this about? People like, you need to do this. And it's until you do experience it for yourself, it's kind of hard to understand it and feel it. I don't know. It's so awesome. But if you believe in God and the angels, and, also our thoughts become things, if you're like, oh, I'm never going to get pregnant. I'm just never going to get pregnant. It's not meant for me. Like, you literally won't get pregnant, because you're the boss of your body. Your body's like, okay, I guess we're not getting pregnant. Like, think about your body's an army, and you're the leader of the army. And it's like, your cells have a consciousness, and they're listening. And so thoughts become things. You have to stay positive. And, when people get sick and they're like, get kidney cancer or something, and they become kidney cancer, they're like the poster child for kidney cancer. Everybody say, oh, I went to the doctor, I have kidney cancer. And it's like, that's it. They're pretty much done, because they become the disease. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So our thoughts are so powerful, so powerful. So it's very important to stay positive. And sometimes it's hard, this life we're living on, this earth, this human experience. It's difficult sometimes to stay positive, but the alternative is not good. So, worry, fear, stress, anxiety just makes you sick. It doesn't, 99% of the time, the stuff doesn't come to fruition that you're worrying about and fearing about, you know what I mean? So You're better off staying in a high vibration of peace, love, happiness, and joy, and trust and faith, and you know.
I mean, that's definitely true. I know that they did a study on like talking to a plant negatively and
Yes.
talking to a plant positively, and the difference between the growth. And I think that, I know it's not always easy to be that positive energy, but just always following up, like if you say something negative, to follow it up with something that is geared, differently. Like, I had a bad day, but I woke up today, like,
Like, yeah, yeah, no, I saw that study too. Yeah, the plant I love you thrived, and the I hate you, shriveled up and died. They also did that experiment with water too, with this
yeah,
guy. Yeah, he talked to the water, negative and beautiful crystals in the one, and the other one was all funky. So, and our think about our bodies are whatever percent water, like a huge, I don't know the number, 80%, or like a large amount water. So of water. So you're literally talking to your own body, your own cells, the water inside your body, and staying positive, and just self-love is a huge thing. And it's not an ego-y thing. It's not like oh, I'm so wonderful, I'm perfect. No, just loving, treat yourself like you treat somebody else.
yeah,
We never do that. We treat ourselves so bad. We would never like stand up somebody going to the mall, like meeting them for lunch, but then we do that too. We don't show up for ourselves.
that's true. I feel like it's like having grace with ourselves, like, because I think the most thing is, you talk down to yourself. I didn't do well enough. I'm not good enough. But having grace that you're human, and we're not gonna be on par every single day.
Right.
That's
And so much of it is childhood trauma, like we said, when we were a kid and your mom, at school, whatever, your parents were, doing their best and maybe not saying the right things and trying to discipline, but, teaching you're not good enough, you failed that test. What's the matter? You're not, you, whatever it is.
yeah,
But we have to remember too, a lot of times they had childhood trauma that they didn't deal with. So their parents treated them that's all they know. So basically what's happening right now, we're all stopping the cycle of that trauma, like working on yourself and healing that heals your ancestral line. It heals your children. Like it stops with you. It's like, no, this isn't stopping here. We're not going to do this anymore. So it's just, it's really so powerful. And just to do this work and put yourself first, and self-care, self-love is important. You're important, and you got to take that time out and take care of yourself.
absolutely. I would love for you to share where can people find you?
So I'm on I have a website, Cardinal Healings with an S. Cardinal, like the bird, healings.com is my website. And I am on Facebook and Instagram. So there's some posts there, some testimonials and stuff. So you can, or email me, private message me. My cell phone's on there. I don't, everybody, you can call me. I just love what I do. I love reaching so many people, and everyone really needs this right now, for so many different reasons. I'm all about like hit the reset button and live your best life. What happened to you when you were 7 shouldn't be a life sentence for the rest of your life. You should be able to move on and be happy and healthy, and not have to deal with that stuff. So I love it.
Well, I'm so happy that you came on here today. And as most listeners know, I always like to end our sessions with a affirmation. And today you have brought us a beautiful affirmation that I'd love for you to share.
So it is, I love myself unconditionally. I love myself unconditionally. I love myself unconditionally.
Thank
Take a
you.
deep breath. Look at yourself in the mirror and say it and mean it and believe it.
I
Yes.
love it. It's so perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great to be on today.
Perfect. So with that, you are loved, you are worthy, you are cherished, and I am proud of you. Until next time on the Brie Pod. Bye.
Bye-bye.
After this recording, I had my very own session with Debbie for a womb healing, and I wanted to share my experience. Felt very light, and I could definitely feel the energy coming out. She really goes through and really is in depth with her work. I feel like she had it mapped out in each quadrant of like the womb and your ovaries. And I'm going to have a better update probably within the next month or so, because ironically, when she did do my reading, or not my reading, but my womb healing, I started my period. But I will say my period was very light, so that was kind of nice. So I'm excited to see what happens from here. But overall, it was really, really nice feeling. And the biggest thought that I had after this, which I've heard this word a lot, is talking about surrendering. And I just keep hearing the song, I Surrender All. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I did with Debbie in that womb healing, and just continuing to do forward with, healing my womb, of just surrendering and letting whatever divine timing happens with this. So I'm going to keep you guys posted on what happens with the future. So until next time, bye.